Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How many of you have used your phone this morning? You probably use it to check the time, scroll through social media, or even find your way here using Google Maps. Now, let's take a step back and think about that for a moment. Did you realize that just by doing those simple actions, you've already used physics, chemistry, computer science, and even artificial intelligence all before 9 a.m.? That's the beauty of it. Science and technology are not confined to laboratories or rocket stations. They live all around us, in our kitchens, our classrooms, and even in our pockets. So, today I want to show you how science and technology shape our everyday lives, how they influence the way we live, the way we learn, the way we connect, and how they take care of our health. Let's begin with how science and technology shape the way we live, guiding almost every small habit in our daily routine. When you wake up in the morning, the first thing you'll hear might be your alarm clock. The sound is made possible by an electric circuit converting electrical energy into sound energy. Then you head to the kitchen, you fry an egg, that's a form of heat transfer. You use a microwave, that's electromagnetic waves. You brew a coffee, that's chemistry at work, releasing aroma and caffeine molecules. That's science, right there in your morning routine. Besides that, when you drive or take a Grab, your app uses GPS satellites orbiting thousands of kilometers above Earth, combined with machine learning algorithms to find the fastest routes. Even the airbag system in your cars work through sensors and Newton's law of motion, reacting within milliseconds during an impact. It's a perfect blend of physics and engineering designed to save lives. At home, smart devices surround us such as washing machines, air conditioners, refrigerators, and even rice cookers that use intelligent sensors to save energy. Some homes even have smart assistants such as Alexa, Siri, or Google Home, turning lights on and off with just a voice command. But here's the question that we need to ask ourselves. Are we still in control, or are we becoming dependent on these technologies? We check our phone hundreds of times a day, sometimes without realizing why. Science gave us tools for comfort, but it also tests our focus and discipline. So, maybe technology is not only about innovation, it's also about self-control and awareness. Let's move on to learning, something that connects us all. A few decades ago, learning meant chalkboards, textbooks, and handwritten notes. But today, we carry the entire world of knowledge in our pockets. Students use Google Classrooms, YouTube, Quizlets, and even ChatGPT to explore subjects in interactive and creative ways. Teachers also use digital whiteboards and virtual labs to bring lessons to life. Today, students always use platforms such as YouTube, Quizlets, DeepSeek, and other applications to explore ideas in ways that were once unimaginable. For example, a student learning biology can now watch 3D animations of how the human heart beats, instead of only reading about it in a textbook. A physics student can simulate experiments online without needing a real laboratory. And through virtual field trips, students can even explore museums in Paris or coral reefs in Australia, all without leaving their seats. Same goes to teachers. They have become innovators. They use digital whiteboards, simulations, interactive slides, and virtual labs during lessons. Besides that, instead of passively listening, students can now interact with their learning, such as answering live polls, joining discussions, or solving problems together online. This shift has made learning not only more engaging, but also more inclusive. Students who once hesitated to speak out in class can now express their ideas through chat boxes, polls, and digital activities. In addition, science and technology have made education more flexible too. Whether you are at school, at home, or even traveling, learning never stops. Cloud storage allows students to access their notes anytime, while video conferencing connects students and teachers across time zones. This evolution shows how science and technology have become the bridge between curiosity and understanding. They break down barriers of distance and time. Today's classroom, whether physical or online, are spaces of exploration, creativity, and global connection. And that is the beauty of this transformation. Technology has not replaced teachers or textbooks, but it has amplified learning, making knowledge more alive, accessible, and luminous than ever before. And I experienced this transformation personally. Before the pandemic, my education was simple and traditional. I went to school, opened my textbook, brought in my exercise book, and listened to my teachers in a physical classroom. Everything felt ordinary and predictable. Then the pandemic arrived, and suddenly everything changed. Our classroom moved online. We started using Google Meet and Google Classroom to continue our lessons. At first, I wasn't used to it at all. The applications felt confusing, and the internet was sometimes unstable, and even unmuting myself felt like a challenge. But as time went on, I adapted. Science and technology became my new classroom, connecting teachers and students through screens. It amazed me to realize that learning could continue even when schools were closed. What I remember most were the online quizzes. Every class seemed to end with one, and honestly, I would think, please, no another quiz. The countdown timer was stressful, but it also trained me to think faster and focus better. The use of science and technology here actually tests our understanding instantly through applications such as Kahoot and Quizy. Sometimes it even felt like playing a game. That experience taught me something valuable, that is, science and technology are not just tools, they are lifelines. During the pandemic, they sustained not only the education process, but also the connection between people, reminding us that science and technology can bridge distances and keep life progressing. It also taught me that technology is not replacing learning, it redefines it. Imagine a student learning about space, not from a textbook picture, but through a virtual reality headset that lets them walk on the surface of Mars. That's not science fiction, that's science in education. How many of you have learned something new on YouTube recently? See, learning no longer happens only in schools. Technology has turned every phone, every home, and every moment into a classroom. But beyond that, science and technology teaches something deeper, that is curiosity. Every time you search why the sky is blue and how does Wi-Fi work, you are actually practicing the true spirit of science, that is, asking why and how. That's what makes learning a lifelong adventure, and that's how science keeps our mind alive. Now, let's talk about connection, one of the most powerful gifts of science and technology. In the past, sending a letter could take weeks or even months. People waited patiently, wondering if their words would ever reach their loved ones. But today, everything happens in seconds. With just a tap, we can video call someone across the world and see their face in real time. Thanks to 5G networks, advanced data transmissions, and satellite communication systems. Science and technology has turned distance into something almost invisible. A student in Malaysia can collaborate instantly with a student in England on the same project. A family separated by continents can share laughter, tears, and even dinner through a screen. Businesses also can hold meetings with partners from 5 different countries. Furthermore, during the pandemic, the power of connection became more meaningful than ever. We worked, studied, and celebrated birthdays through platforms such as Zoom and Microsoft Teams. It wasn't perfect. Sometimes the Wi-Fi froze at the most awkward moments. But it reminded us of something remarkable. That is, science and technology can hold people together even when the world feels apart. But connection is more than Wi-Fi or data. It's emotional, it's human. We now use emojis instead of facial expressions and likes instead of real compliments. A message can be sent instantly, yet sometimes it carries less warmth than a smile. Technology connects us faster than ever, but it also makes us question. Are we really connected or just linked? Social media, for instance, has given us the power to reach millions, but sometimes at the cost of genuine conversation. We scroll endlessly, liking posts, watching stories, yet we often forget to truly listen. Even though science and technology have brought us closer globally, but they can also create invisible emotional distances if we let screen replace sincerity. That's why the next stage of innovation shouldn't just focus on speed or efficiency. It should focus on depth. Maybe the future of technology lies in designing tools that strengthen empathy and connection. Imagine virtual spaces that encourage real dialogue, digital platforms that promote kindness, and artificial intelligence that understands not just our words, but our emotions. So, maybe the next stage of innovations isn't about faster connections, but better ones. Ones that bring back empathy, authenticity, and understanding. Imagine a future where technology doesn't just connect devices, but connects hearts and minds, where artificial intelligence doesn't replace emotion, but enhance compassion. Now, let's talk about something even closer to us, our health. Today, science and technology play a significant role in helping us to stay healthy. Fitness watches can now track our heart rates, sleep patterns, and even blood oxygen levels. Smartphones can detect irregular heartbeats and send early warnings to users. This means that we no longer need to wait until something goes wrong, as technology helps us to take care of ourselves before problems start. For example, if someone's heart rate becomes too fast or too slow, their smartwatch can alert them to see a doctor immediately. that small vibration on your wrist might actually save your life. Moreover, during the COVID-19 pandemic, science and technology became our heroes. The mRNA vaccine developed through biotechnology was one of the most important discoveries in modern medicine. It showed us how science can protect millions of people around the world. Without years of research and the use of advanced technology, that would not have been possible. Hospitals also use technology every single day to help patients. Doctors can now use artificial intelligence to detect diseases more accurately. For example, artificial intelligence can study X-ray or CT scan images and find signs of illness faster than the human eye. This helps doctors to treat patients earlier and improve their chances of recovery. But health is not just about our bodies, it's also about our minds too. Today, there are many mental health apps that help people to track their emotions, reduce stress, and find support when they need it most. Some apps remind us to take a deep breath or offer calming exercises when we feel anxious. Even these small factors show how science and technology can care for our well-being. Therefore, science isn't cold or mechanical. It's compassionate when used with purpose. Every tool, every app, every discovery that exists because someone wanted to help others. Technology may use data and numbers, but behind it, there's always human care. It's a bridge that connects knowledge with kindness. But here's the challenge. As our devices become smarter, we must become wiser. Technology can solve many problems, but it cannot replace empathy, creativity, and moral judgment. Those belong to us. So, the real goal is not to make life more technological, but to make it more meaningful through technology. Let's take a moment to reflect together. Think of one technology you cannot live without. Maybe your phone or maybe your laptop. Now, ask yourself, do I control it or does it control me? Science gives us power, but technology gives us choice. And every choice we make, or we click, we search, we share, or we believe, it shapes the future of our society. So, next time your phone pings, take a deep breath before unlocking it. That small act of awareness isn't just mindfulness, it's scientific self-control in daily life. Let's return to your morning routine once more. You wake up, turn off your alarm, make breakfast, send a message, and step out the door. In those simple acts, you're already engaging with physics, chemistry, biology, and digital engineering, all woven into the rhythm of everyday life. So, remember this. Science isn't just a subject, it's a language we all speak, even without realizing it. And technology isn't the opposite of humanity. It's the reflections of our dreams, creativity, and our desire to make life better. Let's use that power, not just to make life easier, but to make it more meaningful, for ourselves, for others, and for the planet we share. And that's all from me. Thank you.